Hello, Leo, and welcome to your February 2016 readings. I hope that your new year has gotten off to a great start, and I'm looking forward to seeing what information is coming through for you. Every month, I start off with channeled information as well as the cards that I pull. And this month, when I was looking at every sign, I wanted to think of latent skills or gifts that maybe are just underneath the surface. Think of when you're taking a photograph and it requires the development sort of chemicals for things to come to the surface. But I also like the idea of, think of like the X-Men of a superhero, where you actually wake up one day and find that you have something that you didn't know you had. Now, every one of us has these sort of latent skills, and I'm getting a different image for every sign. For you, I got like the image of an ear and listening, but it's not just listening, it's sometimes just that guided thought. So I'm going to go ahead and use a metaphysical term for your sort of superhero power, but I want you to focus not just on listening, but that clairaudience, clear listening, clear sound. Now, sometimes people, it's a common question, they'll ask me, how do I develop my clairaudience? It usually starts as clairsentience, which is like clear knowing, but it's a guided thought, a thought that's so strong that it really doesn't even feel like your own. That's how clairaudience starts, and then it can progress to hearing more information through even sounds. But this month, the way your skill is going to work is think of that moment before you do something that you regret, and your own voice in your head will say, don't do that, or you should do this. I want you to listen to those instructive gut instincts that we'll call our conscience, our inner voice, our gut. But really what it is the universe speaking to us. And if you listen, you can hear it. So again, it's usually cosmic affirmation. So this month it will be stronger for you than others. And that's your skill, that's your gift, that's your opportunity. Okay? So make sure you're listening to the intuition, to the little thought or the voice or the nudge that you just sort of, sometimes you can't explain it, but you know you have to go a certain way, or you know you can trust or can't trust someone. This month, more than others, that's going to be strong for you. Okay? Let's take a look and see what your catalyst card is. And I often describe the catalyst as the key, the ignition, basically, that will help you with that skill of clairaudience that we were just talking about. So we'll take a quick look and see for you what's going to open up your ability to hear more than you usually do. Okay. This is all about, we're talking about connecting to spirit, and I got an angelic card for you. But what's required for this is to ask for help. The way that the angels, spirit guides, archangels all work are you have to actually ask for help. They're sitting there waiting. And I will say this, it's not about, can I win lotto? It's sort of like, help me understand the best way I can remove this block in my life. That's an example of a request that archangels can help with. Or, I would like to welcome in more abundance, more love. I'm working on being more grateful. These are things they can help you with, not going to the 7-Eleven and getting a winning lotto ticket. I hope that makes sense. They're working on much higher levels of spirit growth and soul growth. So your prayers need to be in a self-empowerment mode. So think about how you can help yourself grow, teach, elevate others. This is the way that you're actually going to bring in assistance. So it's not so self-serving, and it's more about growth and return to the universe, okay? Now let's take a look at what's coming in very tangibly, very specifically for your sign. Okay, so central to your spread here for the Celtic Cross is the Nine of Wands. The first thing that I see with this is the word growth came into mind. how much you've come, how far you've come, not only from like September or October of last year, but the whole 10 months preceding this present date. You've really come a long way. And for many of you, this has involved significant sacrifice or sometimes compromise. You'll see that this character has a small sort of bandage here, which shows they've paid their dues. They've been through some tough times. What I'm seeing for you is springtime will be really, really, I guess, the period where you break through this sort of dormancy. You'll notice most of these, the rods here, are starting to show growth, but what I'm seeing here is a period of wintering, going through some difficult times, and then you are going to have a great spring and summer. And you're in this sort of, sometimes it feels like it's barren or that you're waiting. It's a delay. I just want to let you know it's a delay, and you've put in a lot of work to sort of deserve that payoff that you're waiting for. And I see it coming, but what I want to encourage you to avoid is feelings of entitlement, feelings of resentment, feelings of uncertainty that can lead to a sort of spiraling down. So the Eight of Swords is very much a card of martyrdom, a card of just giving up sometimes, giving up hope. And this person is never in as bad a shape as they seem. This is the one sort of silver lining that I like about the Eight of Swords. Because they're blindfolded, it's almost as if you can slide a little bit from here. This, you can look either where you're headed, how far you've come, or you can think, oh, I'm never going to make it. When that happens, that blindfold slides down, or that bandage slides down and becomes a blindfold. And it's very easy to go from the Nine of Wands to the Eight of Swords. So your challenge is to ask for some help in meditation. I want you to make time for the meditation and listen to sometimes in cartoons, there's an illustration with a good ego and a bad ego, or a positive and a negative, because I really don't believe in the polarization of good versus evil. So I want you to do is to try to go more towards positive and allow the critical part there to just keep you in check, but not to pull you in. Critical is good, but not to the point that it becomes the loudspeaker of your life. Okay, now let's look at everything else and put it into context. What we see here is exactly what I've been talking about, which is temperance. And probably leading up to this month, retrograde didn't help a lot, but it's going to improve. When I see the daffodils here, all these cards to me are singing spring to me. I see spring around the corner. April and May are looking really, really good for your sign. Right now, you're coming out of a period of uncertainty, but I really want you to stop thinking about what you can't, what you don't have, what you don't know. The don'ts, the can'ts, the won'ts need to go away. Now, you're being very much affected by the lunar cycle right now, and probably until we go to a new moon, you may feel a little bit of this uncertainty. I feel like the new moon, which should be coming through in the next month, is going to open up new opportunities for you. And right around the time you go to the waning crescent and the waxing gibbous, these are going to be strong points for you where you have to maintain your footing and not give in. But the new moon itself and the full moon, actually, you should be more in a comfort zone. But the waning and the waxing phases are going to be more difficult for you because you start to go back into the illusion phase. Some of you are going to be experiencing a difficulty, or it's sort of like a pent-up, I don't want to use the word aggression, but it came to mind. You have all of these ideas that you want to share. In the areas of work and relationships, it's going to feel like work to get that idea out to others, to have them understand. If you think of like a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old where they are so excited and they're trying to articulate, but the words don't flow through, and that's usually when they have a tantrum. It's not because they're angry at you, it's not because, sometimes it's a sugar rush, but it usually has to do with an inability to articulate. So what I want you to do is, when you're feeling this sort of sense of uncertainty or hopelessness, I've heard this for little kids, it's go back and use your words or focus on what it is and try to articulate it to yourself or in a prayer to the universe and say, I've been working on this. Help me find a way to bring this out. I'm ready to share it. You use your words on this, obviously, but you have to start thinking and meditating or praying that out there so that you can get it out of your system. Exercise will help you with that as well. Monetarily speaking, I see a lot of you are sustaining, doing an okay job of sort of managing, but there's room for everybody, Leo-wise, this month to reevaluate finances and reevaluate the work sector. This is showing up in the ego portion of your Celtic cross. And what I see with the Four of Pentacles, for some of you clinging to maybe a pattern, or it could be a spending pattern, a saving pattern, or a job that feels okay, is predictable, but isn't maximizing what you could be getting out of your life. Some of you are doing something just for the money. Some of you are doing it because you don't have any other choice. It's not just because you're getting paid well, it's because you need to provide. But what I need for some of you to do is think about who else you could be. Maybe there's another person in the family that isn't contributing enough. Maybe you're unwilling or unready to ask for help, because there's a pride that goes with the Four of Pentacles. And you don't want to be proud. You also don't want to be overly protective. So this is a time to be open, transparent, communicative, and honest about finances and about work and security situations. Corporate environments may feel a little bit like they're closing in on you. So do what you can to keep open dialogues with coworkers, peers, bosses, and try to remain balanced in your life outside of work. Because structure is great. We all need something that we can look at, depend on, etc. But when this card's reversed, what it's telling me is the structure isn't either working with your personality type, or your own stubbornness or fear is preventing you from excelling or advancing within that structure. Half of the battle is knowing what the expectations are and knowing when to pick sort of like your battles that you want to really focus your energy on. The silver lining for you, and it's a really nice one this month, is the Ace of Pentacles. So I keep getting April for you. Lots and lots of potential growth and energy that should be coming through over the next 2 months. So I want you to persevere, to stay focused on the next 30, 60, 90 day cycle. It should be very good for you. Money, career opportunities, new jobs, promotions, even proposals are on the horizon for you. I'm definitely reading April, particularly with the lilies here, which at least in the States tend to come around Easter time. So April feels really good. The other thing that I want to sort of bring up here is the idea of rebirth, pulling it a little bit to that, a reincarnation, rebirth, an opportunity for you to sort of rebuild and reinvent yourself is coming in the spring. And I see this more for your sign than for others. So for me, it's a very sacred symbol, this lily. And what I think you can do now is, and you can't see it, but probably by next month, I have an amaryllis that I'm growing. It should be in full blossom by next month. But I love looking at bulbs grow, because they go from a state of, and it's beautiful to grow something like that, or narcissus during the winter, because we're surrounded, even in Southern California, some trees go bare. It gets a little bit drier. You don't see as much growth. And so what's nice is it reminds you potential energy put into action through light, through feeding something, and this is much like your own life. So if there's something that you need to be bringing to fruition, my long-winded explanation here is April is going to be a power month for you. So what I want you to do is, like a dandelion seed, blowing it out into the future. Think about your seed that you want to plant and then send it out in a meditation. It'll be a very powerful image that you can work through. And the way the universe works is when you plant it in the future, it comes towards you in opportunities. I've been stressing this, and I might do a video about the way meditation works. Is a lot of times you have to see where you want to go, and then it happens. It doesn't work the other way around, and it's not all about fate. It's about decision, about action, about intention. So set the intention for April on what you want to bring in, whether it's more relationship opportunities, more love, more personal growth, development on your own mental or psychic abilities, whatever it is that you're trying to be sort of more focused on, and you want to sort of bring fertility and abundance. That's what you want to do. And just like this plant that I'm watering in the background, which will be beautiful in a month, you have to be patient with it, and you have to wait for it to grow, and you have to every day just be thankful that you're witness to your own growth. Okay. And finally, Page of Wands reversed, complementing the Knight of Wands reversed, showing me a little bit of frustration that will resurface towards the fourth week of the month, or the third week of the month, where you might actually feel like you're not making progress on this. And you'll notice that the growth, there's fewer sort of buds on this one, there's more buds on this. So one part of, if we go to horticulture, pruning is necessary so that you can focus a plant, like think of a bonsai, where you want it to grow. You have to take off certain pieces. Sometimes you stunt it, sometimes you want it to grow up. So I want you to think about where you want to focus your energy. You're going to possibly need to take a couple of things off your plate. You can't do everything you want. Push some of that out to summertime and really focus on the one or two things that you can do, okay? And when we look at our extended forecast right now, I can help you with that. So now let's go to the health, wealth, love, and destiny portion of the reading. And we'll start with health, both mental and also spiritual. This is your mind, body, spirit portion. Balance. Balance and projection. For those of you that are in relationships, this card to me is a very powerful one, because there is sometimes a blurring of the lines between you and your partner. So what I want you to do to focus on sort of staying away from this feeling of being in the dark or not understanding, or perhaps taking the stubbornness and going to a place where it can lead to an argument. Separate, pull back, try to go higher, try to listen more than speaking this month. I know it's hard, trust me, but I want you to hear, and then hear past the words that your partner says. Hear into their heart, hear into their mind, into their soul. Notice how it's the larger universe that's speaking through this card, not just your spoken words. Okay? Let's take a look at what's going to be affecting wealth, abundance, and opportunity for you. So your wealth card this month. One moment here. So this is what you want to avoid, keep in check. And this is really what the Two of Swords is about, and also what the Eight of Swords is about, and perhaps what the Four of Pentacles is about. But I want you to let go of any sort of pride that might be keeping you from seeing the best that others have to offer, and also from accepting help or asking for help. A lot of times we're just too proud. When you ask for help, or when you are more transparent with what's in front of you, more opportunities will blossom for you. Okay? Now let's take a look at love and relationships for this month. There we go. And really taking time to understand people around you, to get to know them more than just their function. So in other words, your wife or your husband or your spouse, more than just that extension of a partnership. Remember that they were once an individual, and they have their own needs, wants, quirks, desires, and allowing them to have that space to be truly who they are. Seeing your children as more than just oldest, youngest, middle one, more than the name that you gave them. So going past what is on the surface and listening and moving past any sort of preconceived notions. And for new people that are either trying to find love in their life or that are single, this is about getting to know yourself and what you're looking for, what you want to call in, and also taking time with new relationships. What I see coming through, this is a tricky month for you to date, I will say that, but I think it was a lot easier possibly in the latter part of last year. But I do see a couple of fire signs coming through, slightly younger, very sort of, again, I'm getting a stubbornness that comes through, or difficulty, and this is more of a person that would demonstrate what they want rather than speaking their mind. So you're going to have to be the one that listens and asks questions, almost like you're interviewing them a little bit. So I would say this month it's more about you focusing on what you're looking for, what you need, etc., and really focusing on planting that seed for April. But you can date. You're just going to have to exercise a lot of kindness, gentleness, and definitely do the work when it comes to communication. So now let's take a look at what's affecting your destiny, how you can get further faster. So you're like, what? Think about it. Okay, so for me, what this means is thinking before acting. Not just, it's this card again, basically. So I need you to take a step back, and before you speak, before you execute a contract, before you set up a date or an appointment, think about, is this what I need? And then use your superpower for the month, which is clairaudience. Listen to the first thing that comes to mind. Sometimes just even having to ask the question, immediately, like, yes, I absolutely need that. Why am I wasting time? Or, I don't know. If it's I don't know, probably not, then you don't need that. And then when in doubt, sort of meditate on this a bit. So this month is, by and large, a month of moving through existing sort of like work that you've done over the past 10 months, 9 or 10 months, and not succumbing to a feeling of frustration, to shifting your focus to April, starting to plant the seed for what you want, being cautious with any fire signs in your life, any Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius that you need to do work with, business with, or relationships with. For some of you, there may be a proposal on the horizon, a business or a marriage proposal. And just for those of you that need to decide on that, what I see here is to be cautious. I think that you want to give yourself, what I'm seeing here is a week to make a decision on business endeavors at least. And you should be able to follow your heart if it's a proposal for love. But for business, this is something where you need to gather more information, and it may be something where it's a compromise. So make sure the compromise suits you and not just the other way around. So I think that's everything that came through for you for this month. And I'm going to just pull one. For some reason, my guides are saying, show me one for the next month. So for you, I got the Queen of Pentacles coming through for the following month, which is showing me that you will be able to move past this. If there is some negotiations needed for a job, that situation seems to be improving come for February, March. March will be better for you. So that concludes your reading for this month, and I hope that it was helpful. If you ever want something more specialized, concrete, or specific to your life, I do offer one-on-ones, and I'm actually accepting bookings now for the following month, for March, so you can sign up on my website, and I'll put a link in one of the corners here. And I also offer meditation and healing sort of sessions, and I might post a video this month as well, so you can get a feel for how that would work for you. If you just like to stay up to date with what's going on and know when I post my latest videos, because I think that's probably the number one question I get is, when are the new videos coming, or what's going on with this? My newsletter is probably the easiest way to do that, and I will send it straight to your inbox the minute I post on YouTube. Of course, subscribing will help. And then I've recently launched Twitter account, and I also have a Facebook account that I've had for a while. But to those 3 areas, I will blast it at once. And then, of course, on YouTube, if you subscribe, you'll find out as soon as you log in. Otherwise, just keep in touch with me here. I love hearing the feedback. I love seeing all the likes and subscribes, because it really keeps me engaged, and it knows that it helps me know that you guys are interested and that this is resonating with you. And trust me, it really means a lot, because sometimes it's just me talking to a camera. So it's good to have the feedback. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you again in another month. And again, I hope you're having a great start to the new year. Bye-bye.